reinserted into the starting lineup, and the kid from Virginia has made a profound difference. He will swing it. Here's Trimble on the attack. That's what he does, slashing inside, gathers his own miss, looking for help, tripled up, out for Young, who will lift, and off the back of the iron, and tipped out of play to Syracuse.
A lot for North Carolina stems from them trying to get the ball to the rim. In their last game, they were 8 of 31 from the three-point line versus Georgia Tech. And one of the priorities for Hubert Davis is to get multiple touches down low on the block, dominate them by playing inside out.
Donnie Freeman leading the Orange in scoring 18 points a game. He did not start the game over the weekend for the first time this year. Held with just 7 points. Out for Kings, who had 28 in the game over the weekend against Notre Dame. He kicks it out for Starling, the 6'4" senior. He'll pull up and pop and knock it down.
A lot for Syracuse is getting to their spots on the court as we look at North Carolina's starting 5. Derek Dixon, Jaden Young, Seth Trimble, Caleb Wilson, Henry Vassar as well, a guy that can stretch out the floor.
That's a great feed to Wilson and slam it down.
And that's what their bigs are so good at doing. Both guys are intentional passers and have great vision and can read and react.
So much goes through those two, Wilson and Vassar, as they combine for 37 points a game, like 44% of North Carolina's scoring. Kings trying to answer over the top. It's tapped right back to him. He gets a short one that won't fall. His rebound swung it away. Vassar got a hand on it. And will trigger the break for North Carolina coming in number 14. Vassar, yep, it's Wilson. He gets position and lays it in. Now McDonald's All-American, who went home to Atlanta last Saturday and dropped in 22 along with 6 rebounds and 5 assists. And he has had a spectacular freshman season. It'll be his only one at North Carolina.
The bigs on the perimeter and play that high-low basketball style.
Speaking of bigs, when Carolina came out right before the pregame introductions, you pointed something out that Caleb Wilson led them out.
Well, traditionally, guards are the ones that lead their teams out on the floor before the game starts. But Caleb Wilson is the leader of this team. He was leading the team out. He was the most vocal person today in shoot-around. He was the one, the freshman was directing everybody where to be for scouting report.
Great save there, and the deflection by Vassar. And that'll go the other way. The foul will go against North Carolina, and they're going to get Caleb Wilson for his first. Well, the first Duke showdown coming up on Saturday here at the Smith Center at 6:30 on ESPN. Tar Heels also go to Miami, and they have Clemson coming up on March 3rd. As far as the games to really circle on their schedule, a collision in midcourt. As Starling went backward and rolls out of bounds. No foul call on this.
Yeah, no, that's no foul on that. Coming off shoulder to shoulder.
Jaden Young bumping shoulders.
Yeah, the body of William Kyle III knocked JJ out of the way. That is a grown man body, I'll tell you that.
Freeman will launch from the wing. Can't knock down the triple. Syracuse not a great three-point shooting team, 34%, but they can get hot. They hit 10 of them this weekend. They had 11 against Florida State. Dixon for Wilson. Back to the guard. Got a really good look, but couldn't hit it. Syracuse was the only ACC school who returned their top 2 scorers from last year. And it turned that over on their second turnover, but that has not really translated, Jay, yet into a return to glory for Red Autry and the Orange.
Yeah, J.J. Starling was a guy last year that averaged 22 points per game in his last 2 games against North Carolina as well, and trying to find his footing offensively. You know, one of the things for North Carolina to do in this game, Donnie Freeman is the leading scorer for Syracuse. He is guarding Caleb Wilson. They should make it a priority to get Caleb Wilson the ball. That's how you attack the other team's best scorer. You attack them on the defensive end.
Stevenson is open. Rebound tip controlled by the Orange. Syracuse also a very tough stretch beginning tonight at Carolina, then at Virginia. They still got SMU and Duke to come. Turnaround won't go for Starling.
Just don't like that possession of you. Right? Nobody came down. The ball didn't have any energy, and no other players were involved. It was come down, isolation, shot early, and shot clock.
George with the foul on the arm. Both times a little chilly shooting the ball so far. Molly McGrath joining us in just a moment, talking about this weekend that is right around the corner for Carolina and Duke.
Henry Vasar, and said they're keeping this team focused, and Coach Hubert Davis's message to his team is simple: Syracuse is worthy of our full attention.
Well, they need it tonight, but 6 on the board. And Caleb Wilson, the guy getting it all done so far.
Whoever started this narrative that Caleb Wilson can't shoot the ball from the outside, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I mean, that thing looks smooth. It comes off the hand the right way. And this is the type of activity on both sides of the ball that make him so elite.
Now, that would have been, I mean, the roof would have come off if he had.
Now, as Molly talked about, North Carolina being 1-5 in the games leading them to Duke versus North Carolina. The thing that's really hard about when you play in that rivalry is having veteran players on your team who have played in that rivalry before. That helped me a lot in my freshman year. The only veteran who's played in this rivalry before is Seth Trimble. And, you know, he's going to have to get his lieutenants ready for battle in a game where just the thickness in the air is quite different than any other game that ever experienced.
Tough lead-in shot there by George won't go. Meanwhile, Syracuse is on the table tonight. Dixon with a pull-up pop. Nice stroke there to bury a 3. He hits 41% out there. So Carolina grabbing the early 9-2 advantage. Syracuse was talking during their workout today. They have to make some early shots because this game is the kind of thing that could get out of hand pretty quickly if they're not careful.
Especially if North Carolina starts knocking down shots from the outside. Derek Dixon, a guy that has the starting lineup role here with this team, struggled a little bit as of late, especially in his road games playing out west, which leads me to a different point, OB. Can we use one style of basketball in every conference? You know, are you playing with a Nike Solution ball? You're playing with an Adidas ball at one school. It's just one of my pet peeves as a shooter. The way the ball spins off the backboard, the English is different. When the ball gets wet, the way you can shoot it is different. There should be one basketball for the ACC or one basketball for the SEC or the Big Ten, and that is it.
Here, here. Second shot here for Kyle the third. What an interesting looking corkscrew shot. Well, he only makes 50% at the line, so you can see why. And that's a huge issue for Syracuse. They're the worst foul shooting team in the ACC at the bottom at 63%. Vasar getting up there, but a miss. Again, coming in, averaging 17 and 9. George pounding the deck. Syracuse stuck at 2 points, coming up on 6 minutes into this contest. Freeman, nice touch there as he buries it.
North Carolina is switching a lot of the action. That's where Donnie Freeman's going to have a huge advantage, being 6'9", to shoot over the top of the smaller Seth Trimble.
Again, SU's top scorer came off the bench, just 7 points on Saturday. Everybody said he handled it well. He was not hurt. It was a strategic decision. Bogavats on the drive, and no one picked him up. He lays it in. Luka Bogavats, 6'6" junior from Montenegro. Freeman gives off to the point guard. 6'3" junior from Toronto. Freeman again. One of the most reliable shooters, period. Popped it up, no whistle. He thought he had a foul. Bogavats in transition. Trimble on the attack. It's blocked from behind. And a good stop by Freeman.
You know, look, I've seen some unorthodox shooting forms before, but I've never seen something where the ball kind of has a sideward spin to it.
Deflected by Tyler Betsy, and a whistle stops the clock. And the foul will go on Luka Bogavats. That'll be his first. And coming up next, we're going to send you out to Lubbock on ESPN and the ESPN app. Darren Peterson, maybe the best player in America. And number 11, Kansas, taking on JT Toppin, another who's been spectacular, and number 13, Texas Tech.
If Darren Peterson were healthy, I think he would be the National Player of the Year. Guy's only played 11 out of 21 games. But I think the National Player of the Year is Cameron Boozer right now, just for the style in which he plays. But there's no doubt about it. After that last battle, we were just in Lawrence for game day. And it was Darren Peterson versus A.J. DeBonta. And even though Peterson didn't play the second half, his 18 points cemented him as the first pick in the 2026 NBA draft.
Hey, Donnie Freeman starting to get going a little bit here for the Orange as they cut it to 11-6. Trimble again, undaunted down the lane. That's his game. He is coming at you, 110. Coming in averaging 15 a game, the senior from Wisconsin. And a solid game Saturday against Georgia Tech with 18 points. He was out for 42 days with that broken arm. Suffered against Kansas in a game in early November. Came back to hit a couple of giant threes in the win against top 25 Virginia, and he had 16 in that game without a turnover. And he's huge in this attack for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, hyper efficient last two games, 34 points on 20 shot attempts. How about a guy that's been here for multiple years and hasn't just jumped in the portal to get more money other places? He's fought through it.
Sadiq White into the game, 6'9" freshman. Syracuse, a team of good size. The lean in, the back shot, that won't go to the whistle. Kyan Anthony, the 6'6" freshman, getting into the fray, and he draws the foul. Anthony, SU's top recruit this season, the son of Syracuse legend Carmelo Anthony.
Just love him snaking the ball screen and going back into the defender, utilizing that taller frame. And good concentration there. That's how he should be. He should be getting to the free throw line at least 8 to 9 times a game. With the way he's able to attack off the dribble, and he has a deadly jump shot, so he can throw people off their pace.
Syracuse loves his mentality. He's so even-keeled. Plays the game very calmly. Number 36 overall recruit in the SC Next 100. And those sons of great players, been around a lot of great teams and great athletes. They kind of tend to be that way. You know?
Well, I think he's seen it all.
Seen it all. Right.
By the way, when you see it with your dad every single day in workouts, you've seen it all.
So a 12-8 lead for North Carolina and the ball. Carolina does a good job hanging on to the basketball. Only 10 turnovers a game for Hubert Davis's team.
A great hedge there by Donnie Freeman to get out on both the shooter.
Besar. Shot up, but an air ball knocked away. So the Orange with an opportunity to cut this lead. Betsy, who hits the threes, gets it downstairs. They want Freeman to touch it again. Betsy off the fake. Freeman from the corner. And a whistle along the baseline with about 11.5 to go. Here in the first half. Low scoring so far.
Givens basketball tournament, and just stare in awe at some of the names that you see up there. And obviously, you know, Michael Jordan stands out, Antoine Jameson, James Worthy, but Phil Ford was a name that always stood out to me for, you know, all-time leading scorer here at North Carolina until Tyler broke that record. You know, 99 and 24 in his time here, and took North Carolina to the 1977 national championship game. But the amount of legends that have stepped foot on this court is just overwhelming with greatness.
Evans with the foul to put Freeman at the line.
Was that weird for you to hear me say that I wanted to come here as a new player?
No, I knew the story, and I knew the regard that you held North Carolina basketball in. Mitch Kupchak right there at midcourt, 1976 ACC Player of the Year. I mean, the talent on display here over the decades is mind-boggling, just mind-boggling. And the Syracuse kids, when they came in last night to shoot around here and loosen up a little bit, they were all looking up in the rafters. Nice little play there to get it downstairs to Besar too. They were taking it in too. Not that they necessarily knew every name up there.
Well, Red told us that they didn't know a lot of the names up there other than Michael Jordan.
Michael obviously stands out off the back of the iron by Anthony. That won't fall. I got to give me James Worthy. That's a gimme, isn't it? And a whistle off.
He led them in plus minus. And he's so effective and efficient on the court, just always having impact on the game.
Arizona's great right now. They'll roll it to him, and he'll take the hit. He can do a lot of things. He can hit the three-pointer too. He's 46% out there.
Yeah, two bigs on the court that both can spread the court, do it in the open court, but you can invert that screen and roll because of their passing abilities and both of their shooting abilities, frankly.
He's coming off 20 points, 12 rebounds against Georgia Tech on Saturday. Drops in number 1. His mom was a professional table tennis player, which is timely because I knew you were dying to see Marty Supreme at some point.
I mean, you put me on game during the break. I have to be honest with you. The fact that you know the name of that movie,
You're right. Well,
it's culturally impressive.
Pretty popular. I'm a big Chalamet fan. Nominated for the Academy Award and off the iron.
I heard you're a big basketball fan as well. Did you happen to play a little bit in your day back during the Syracuse days?
Not really. Obviously, I played pickup games and stuff like that very badly. Nice reverse there. Won't go for Anthony. But called a lot of games as a student on WAER radio at Syracuse University, the best communication school in the country. As my wonderful friend Sean McDonough says, the Harvard of Central New York.
It's a great tag.
He's right on the money. Wilson going in strong, and he'll draw the foul. It has some product in it now. Just a little bit. Wilson swishes that one, and he has 8 points.
He'll be your man of many talents, my friend.
Man of very little height, and a timeout. Because they could not get it in. North Carolina.
I want to have a lasting impact, relate to the community, so I always try to do things with the fans to let them know that I support them the same way they support me. OB?
Well, that young fan, as you mentioned, Molly, made his month, maybe his year to get that jersey signed from his idol, Caleb Wilson.
Well, Hubert Davis told us during practice today that his team had a lot of nice guys on it. I'll tell you one, Caleb Wilson is not a nice guy. He is a competitor. He is fierce. I said this during the Open. It reminds me of a young Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett was one of the most competitive people, and he found a way to get himself to an angry place so he could compete each and every night. And that is the type of energy that this young man plays with.
He'll kick into the corner for another three that won't drop. And the foul will go on North Carolina. And the swat by Jonathan Powell is first. Now, Huber was saying, I got a lot of nice guys on the team. I need a couple of them, and he wasn't talking about Caleb, said a couple of them to be a jerk for about 2 hours. That's all. A little bit of a jerk.
There's nothing wrong with being a jerk, by the way. I mean, some of the best and most competitive players in the world were those guys. Michael Jordan was that. Isaiah Thomas was that. Kobe Bryant was that. LeBron James at times can be that. I mean, that's the competitive edge that you need to get the best out of yourself when you talk about playing 40, 50 games throughout the course of a regular season.
You're not talking about being a dirty player. You're not talking about treating fans poorly or the media badly. But
you're nice. You called them jerks. We would call them something else, but this is rated PG.
We have to be very clean here.
Yes.
9:34 to go. But I think your point is well taken. Freeman at the line, 79%. Had some big games, 27 against Georgia Tech, 25 against Florida State. 17-12. And what? I remember your playing days. I mean, you played with that edge that I would say, in the parlance of Hubert, a bit of a jerk on the floor.
Well, just because I wanted to be the best, and Coach K was great. As you watch Vesar knock down a three, we had talked about his ability to extend the defense, knocking down that shot, which opens up lanes for Wilson and Trimble to drive. But if you're not competing, don't be on the court, Obi. It's that plain and simple. And I think in today's age with NIL, some kids can become fat cats. They get money early. They don't want to compete. They think the thing is supposed to be given to them, and nothing in this life is given.
Buries that three, and North Carolina opens up their biggest lead so far.
2.0.
Remind me again.
And that was another walk. Well, they got that one.
That's a travel against Syracuse. Have turned it over 5 times. That was by any stretch of the imagination.
I'm ready to give a good going to break highlight, OB, and I just see 8 steps.
Right. Well, they'll miss one every once in a while. Inside. What a slam. Foul making a difference since he came off the bench. And this is an 8-0 run. And this is a danger zone for Syracuse. At 8.5 minutes to go in the half. Kyle up top. Hands off for Freeman. Up against Vesar, the one-hander, and he's the one guy getting it done right now. He's 10.
They worked a ton and shoot around on snaking those screens, coming back into the defender, keeping him on your back for a little mid-range shot.
Dixon intended for Wilson and take it away. Eight Kings, who has been very quiet, coming off 28 this weekend. And that'll go against Syracuse with 7:57 to go. Not a lot going.
And I respect the heck out of Roy Williams as a coach and as a human being.
There's a lot of chatter here in Chapel Hill whether to renovate this building, which has been around over 4 decades, the Smith Center, or build a new one. I'd like to see this place renovated. They saw the baseline. He's had a really good first half, muscling his way inside. Couldn't finish it though.
Syracuse has to find a way to get some point production from somebody other than Donnie Freeman, who has 10 of the team's 14 points, and that was one right there.
Great job by George slamming on the brakes. He knocks back his first basket. Syracuse in dire need of a run here in these last 7 minutes. Trimble. Oh, how about that? Tremendous move off the window after the crossover. The play of the game so far.
Seth Trimble just attacking, doing exactly what Hubert Davis wants him to do. 24/7 attack mode.
George pulls up from 3, got it. Syracuse, a team that can get those going. Doesn't happen that often, but they do tend to get them in bunches. 27-19.
They showed that when they beat Tennessee. The game came down to the wire versus Houston. This team has the talent to compete. It's a matter of them putting together all the pieces.
These 2 very impressive wins. Tough losses too. Boston College to Hofstra. That was clean, and Freeman comes away with it. Nathan George, the point guard. Formerly with Georgia Tech.
Sitting there looking at the stat sheet, Caleb Wilson is plus 14 in his time on the court thus far. Are you kidding me? Plus 14.
Saw my partner do that once or twice. 6:07 to go in the first half. George with another one coming. He's 80% at the line.
Now I could barely jump over a penny.
Stevenson back on. You can't jump over Penny anymore. We don't even make him anymore.
I'm just getting old, nobody. That's a problem. I don't know what's happening.
George, the junior from Toronto. 1 of 2, and the rebound deflected to Powell. So Syracuse has made a mini run here to pull within 7. On the bounce, it's Wilson. He's been a little quiet the last 5 or 6 minutes. He's going to turn and fire. Rebound tipped. Stevenson just beat everybody, and it missed that close.
Well, that's where you like to see Jaron Stevenson be more active, getting offensive rebounds, doing a lot more of that dirty work. He's a guy that can obviously extend the floor from a shooting perspective, but they like when he's aggressive down low on the block.
It's a kick ball, and they're going to say off at George, who tried to make a move there. That's his 7th turnover.
I really think Stevenson is one of those additive pieces that can really help North Carolina explode to the next level. You see what Caleb Wilson can bring to the table. You see what Henry Vesar can bring to the table. But this guy last year played for Alabama, and he was knocking down threes. He was an exciting player to watch, and him trying to find his rhythm with the other players on the floor, I think could take this team to the next level.
Averaging about 7 points a game for Hubert Davis. He's got it now. Wilson with another touch. Wow. Spinning to the baseline, and a whistle. Bert Smith calling a foul. Well, coming into play tonight in the ACC, Duke remains #1 and undefeated in conference play as they get ready for North Carolina coming up on Saturday on ESPN. As we've said, though, do not sleep on the Clemson Tigers at 8-1.
I mean, Brad Brownell just does it each and every year. They just win a lot of games. They do it collectively as one unit. Obviously, R.J. Godfrey's a really talented player, but they do it one as a whole. And then you think about a team like UVA and Tess DeRitter, one of the top players in this league as well, an older team that doesn't play UVA style basketball. They actually love pace, and they play with a lot of adrenaline, and they can knock down threes from a long distance. And in North Carolina right there as well.
NC State playing better lately as they are 7-2 in the league. Good things happening in Miami too. ACC's been a tough league. George has the last 6 points for Syracuse, but Freeman ends that with a rainbow shot. He has 13 in the first half.
And just poor communication right there between Stevenson and Wilson, both going with the roller and not staying home with the shooter.
Dixon will swing it. Stevenson's open. Buries it. A triple. 32-23. George to Freeman. Moments ago, hit a long distance shot, trying to get closer this time. And Molly McGrath, he has an array of moves offensively. There's no doubting that. He is 15.
Yeah, OB, he's really getting their offense going. And he told us he found out the day before the Notre Dame game that he was coming off the bench for that contest, and admitted this last week has been really hard on his confidence because he couldn't get into a rhythm when he came off the bench. And he stressed he wanted to get that confidence back tonight through defensive hustle plays, a steal, a block, taking a charge, anything to make an impact on the game, keep that momentum rolling. So he's playing to get his confidence back tonight.
Kings wriggles free underneath and drops in 2. And the first basket for Nate Kings, the senior, 28 against Notre Dame this weekend. But that has tightened this thing up, 32-27, to get a little bit restless here at Chapel Hill. Dixon on the drive and dish. Underneath Stevenson to finish it.
Donnie Freeman reminds me a little bit of A.J. DeBonsa. He's able to get himself to certain positions on the floor where he can score over smaller guards.
Syracuse has hit their last 6 shots.
Nice.
Up and in for Soiree, but a nice dish. 3 minutes before the break, they're 7 for 7. Like here, Soiree, the 6'9" product from Guinea. Transfer from Georgia Tech.
Both teams are really gassed right now. I've seen multiple players pulling on their jersey to get out of the game, but these are the type of moments that define teams. You got to play through this.
Wilson again in the painted area, and a foul again as he's headed to the stripe. So we've got a timeout. 2-15, but Syracuse has cut this to 5, and it'll be Caleb Wilson at the line where he makes 70%. McDonald's All-American. Now certainly looking like a first-team collegiate All-American. And maybe a lot more honors than that.
A lot of mock draft sites have him slated to be top 5. I truly think if you were to compare him and Cameron Boozer has a higher floor. But I think the ceiling for Caleb Wilson is higher overall.
Syracuse breaking the pressure. Tough leader, that won't fall for White. North Carolina hustling back defensively.
Great contest by Vesar there, just going up vertical.
Bogabats out of the lane for the long jumper. Got it from the corner. Trimble on the money. 6 points for him in the first half. And it seems like every time the Orange make a run, the Tar Heels have an answer. Kyle handing it off. Here's Betsy from the wing.
Kyle would have kept his dribble. He had a free lane right to the rim.
George penetrated. Slipped a little bit. Almost lost it. Shot clock down to 1. It's expiring. They never get it off. Turned it over 8 times here. Red Autry's team.
It's Nate George driving into those trees, having the athleticism of Caleb Wilson breathing on your neck, and Vasar down there with that long wingspan waiting to contest your shot. It really deters you from getting close to the rim.
Freeman had been out for a quick breather, and Autry bringing it back in. Meanwhile, Wilson with it. Set another impressive first half for North Carolina. He comes up to set the screen. Dixon inside and one. Well, the freshman, great command of the
Ability player. And not only can he block shots down low, not only is he disciplined on the block, but also you can switch with him on the perimeter late in the possession, and that is a monumental attribute to have for a player of his size.
Dixon completing the three-point play. Kings with the foul. And approaching the final minute before halftime at Chapel Hill. Vasar swats that one away. Triggers to Wilson on the spin, waits, and on the reverse lays it in. So North Carolina getting real comfortable again before halftime. They've been doing it with defense. A shot clock violation last time down for Syracuse. It's down to 5 now. On the baseline, the jumper won't go for Kyle. So 5-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock, and Hubert Davis will burn a timeout here.
Coming up for the 2026 NBA draft. I obviously start with Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, Cameron Boozer, Caleb Wilson, and then probably fifth, I would throw in Kingston Flemings. You know, a guy playing for Houston right now, and you know, he's a dynamic guard that could do it in a variety of different ways. But you know, going through my own mock draft, I have 12 freshmen being taken in the first 12 picks of the NBA draft. Are you kidding me?
Amazing, amazing. Shot clock down to 5. Vasar will kick for the corner, and the long jumper on the money by Powell. He hits the 3. Time to get off a heave here for Freeman. He gets it up in time, and he backed it in.
Players involved by moving the ball and playing with more physicality to get guys open. He said those final 2 minutes got it.
All right, we lost Molly's mic there, but no doubt the pressure is on Red Autry to be playing in March. Another miss on March Madness would be 3 years in a row. That's every season he has been at the helm for Syracuse. And a loss tonight would leave them at 13-10 and 2 under 500 in league play. And a quick start for Caleb Wilson, his first touch of the second half.
And Syracuse going to that zone, the way you beat the zone is having a playmaker in the middle of it. Wilson doing a good job of turning, facing, recognizing what the defense gave him and knocking down the jumper. You know, Molly talked about Syracuse passing the ball, getting more people involved. They had 2 assists and 9 turnovers in the first half.
That has been a huge problem Starling knocks down 2 for Syracuse this season. And it's really been a giant problem because their opponents have turned those turnovers into points so often in transition. They were losing 4 consecutive games. That happened far too frequently. The foul here will go against Donnie Freeman, number 2.
What do we see in the first half against Notre Dame? We saw the ball move from side to side, and when the ball moves with that pace, it has energy and it keeps everybody engaged offensively. We have not seen that thus far with Syracuse. A lot of isolation basketball.
Vasar reaching up, keeping it alive. He grabs the rebound. And the second chance for the Tar Heels. Rifle to the corner, back for Young. Downstairs for Vasar. They moved it beautifully for 2. He has 8.
Kyle just not fighting enough down low on the block. Vasar didn't get pushed off the block. Just had great post presence down low.
Syracuse just not stopping North Carolina's offense. On the weave, Starling shovels it up there. Nice touch for 2. Give him 6. Vasar going right to Wilson. Looking for another quick strike. He beats everyone to the ball, backs it in. Tremendous effort, and he has a chance for a 3-point play.
That's the way you attack.
He has 15 of at least 20 points. And on his way to another one tonight. 3-point play.
Again, the chess. Not going to let you save all your energy for the offensive end. I'm going to make you work on the defensive end just as hard.
Starling being chased by Young.
Great defense.
Up against Bessar. That one will roll off the iron, but a second chance thanks to White and the rebound. Pull up pop. Will clang away off the iron by George. Picked up at midcourt. Starling straight on and another miss. And 1 foot on the line. Trimble all the way through and a block. Outstanding defense there by Kings.
Syracuse got lucky right there. Nobody stopped the ball. Trimble was able to get the ball from one length of the court to the other.
George lifts. Rebound tapped. Another second effort for Syracuse. Kings over the top. The tip won't drop. Kyle is certainly a guy who can climb up there in the rafters, but the play didn't work. Wilson on the back down. He's denied a foul.
He got fouled there. That's where, as we watch the evolution of Caleb Wilson's game, when he turns over that right shoulder, he's eventually going to learn that left hand. He extends that left hand. He had a nice, easy left-in lay. But bringing the ball back to his right hand is what forced the foul.
So the freshman who had a big day in Atlanta over the weekend against Georgia Tech. Really nice homecoming for him against the Yellow Jackets. 22.6 rebounds, 5 assists. And will shoot again.
I mean, Dave, just the activity level that he has is ridiculous. I mean, he's flying all over the court. And the one thing about Caleb Wilson that I enjoy is that he plays with great joy and passion. You can tell he gets lost in the flow and rhythm of the game.
We listened to him in their practice as we did earlier today. Complimentary of his teammates. He's always talking to teammates, saying nice job, nice shots. One thing that Hubert has talked about with a wonderful teammate he is. Kyle on the high post needs some help. Kyle trying to spin. Bessar sticking right with him. Shot clock at 3. George has to heave it up there. It didn't touch anything. And out it goes.
You know, Obi, Molly had some great stories on Caleb that she told us today. Molly, you were telling us about how competitive he was. Is there any color you can provide to that?
Yeah, you know, he's kind of wise beyond his years, and he really thrives off of visual motivation. And Wilson taped the March Madness logo above his door in his dorm room, taps the logo every time he leaves to remind himself what he came here to accomplish. He also has his goals for the season written down in his journal. He told us he journals every single day, and he said after a bad game, he'll write down a list of everything he could have done better, and then he'll rip it out of the page, crumple it up, and throw it away to, quote, physically discard any negative feelings or thoughts. He is just wise beyond his years, guys.
Young with the drive. Bessar will clean it up with a slam. Jay Will does that too, only it's my mistakes he writes down.
Every single one.
And page after page. Thankfully, you do burn them later. Appreciate
Just
that.
after I tell Jimmy Paterno.
That's right. George off the window for 2. Nathan George, 8 points.
But that vision board is important to see what you want to accomplish, and you have to see it to believe it. Right? I think a lot of players talk about what they want to do, but they don't carry it with them daily. For Caleb Wilson, he makes sure that he sees who he wants to be on a day-to-day routine.
Young picked up the high rebound. He draws the foul on his way to the basket. When we come back, well, Syracuse fans were reminded of the glory days of Orange basketball over the weekend, and the late Lawrence Moat. More on that. Poetry in Moat when we come back.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy. I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for. Open 7 days a week at most locations.
Can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Oh, my wash machine's on the fritz also.
I got just the thing. Ooh, you make a pretty good bank guy. Want to try the catchphrase?
There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
No, the other one.
What's in your wallet?
You're a natural.
Marco's only uses premium toppings, which means your pizza isn't just flavorful, it's mushroom-full, or sausage-full, or pepperoni-full. And you can get unlimited medium one-topping pizzas from the place named America's favorite pizza chain starting at $8.99 every day, only at Marco's.
When IHOP heard that fantasy football leagues are making last-place teams spend 24 hours at their restaurants, they wanted to help. So they're launching bottomless pancakes for everyone.
Just like you helped everyone's fantasy team this season?
Get free bottomless pancakes with select breakfast combos, only at IHOP.
Think switching to T-Mobile's a whole complicated thing? Nah, it's easy.
Switch to T-Mobile and unlock savings that are built to last. With T-Mobile's Better Value Plan, you can save over $1,000 a year versus Verizon and AT&T. Save on streaming, satellite, and more benefits that they leave out.
I get all the VIP perks. Don't mind if I do.
For a limited time, get our most value pack plan ever. Plus, switch right now and we'll even pay off your old phone up to $800.
Stay chillin', just switching.
WGU believes you should profit from college, not the other way around. With lower tuition, self-paced degrees and certificates that build employer-approved, future-proof career skills. WGU is the university that puts you first. Visit wgu.edu to learn more.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I did not check my outfit before meeting my girlfriend's family. Checking Allstate first was an excellent plan. Not checking which team my girlfriend rooted for? Yeah, not great. So check Allstate first, and you can save hundreds. Ex-girlfriend.
My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. With Skyrizi, feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks. Many people were in remission at 12 weeks, at 1 year, and even at 4 years.
Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi.
And Syracuse basketball will always love Lawrence Moten. May he rest in peace.
Saturday at the Dome in Syracuse, number 21, the all-time leading scorer in Syracuse basketball history, who passed away suddenly at the age of 53 last September. Jay Boeheim standing on the court bearing his name and moved to tears. And many on hand had to wonder, can Syracuse return to those elite teams that Lawrence Moten was such a driver back in the 1990s. 2,400 points, had a spectacular career.
Lawrence, poetry in Moten. He's one of the most special players you've seen in ACC history, also along with Syracuse. And I do believe that Syracuse, from a talent perspective, can get back to being a national title contender. It is one of the blue blood brands in our game of college basketball. And with the recruiting talent that they're able to bring in, obviously NIL is something that everybody needs to adapt to. But there's no reason why they can't contend to be the best of the best.
Syracuse has not played in an NCAA tournament since 2021.
We watched Indiana football win a national title this year. Anything is possible.
And for decades, the tournament was a mandate for Syracuse as they try to get back to that. Starling wants to attack and spin. That won't fall. So a 20-point lead here for North Carolina. On target, Bogomaz from 3, and that's the biggest lead tonight for the Heels. Bogomaz, a seasoned pro out of Europe. There's Starling up top. Nathan George. George will find White. He'll let fly, and way too strong.
The ball just not moving the defense from side to side.
Wilson trying to make that bounce pass.
In that paint. And those are the kind of plays, that's why you want your bigs to sprint towards the rim. It opens up free shots on the outside.
That's back for the triple. The last shot, they changed to a 2, but that one, no question about. 63-38. And starting to turn into a runaway for North Carolina. With the next one coming up, the showdown with Duke, of course. Freeman for Betsy.
You see how long Seth Trimble is. Donnie Freeman outweighs him by about 15, 20 pounds and can't back him down low to the basket.
And a miss in tight. Trimble really playing some sticky defense.
Trimble has the body and size that reminds me a lot of a former teammate I used to play with named Dante Jones. Just an absolute pit bull. And you can put him on smaller guards on the perimeter. You've seen that this year where he played against Darren Peterson. Just made life miserable, even though Peterson still had a pretty talented game. But you can also put him on bigs, too, where he can't be back down.
Well, our crew had dinner in Chapel Hill last night. In fact, Caleb Wilson came in at one point as he was grabbing a bite. You were telling some great stories. A foul here on the baseline. This was 7 on the shot clock. About Duke, North Carolina, your days in the rivalry. I think people will be fascinated to know that during the summers, players from both sides would get together.
Okay, you're telling that story. You're not talking about the one in me at the library, right?
Not the one in the library.
Okay.
As far as getting together on each other's courts, like at Cameron and here, to go toe-to-toe with each other.
Well, every summer, we would come over here to Chapel Hill and play against the best of the best. I mean, we would play against McGinnis. We would play against Vince Carter would come back and play. Stack would come back and play. Joseph Forte, Ed Cotto. That's what we did. And guys would come over to Durham and they would play as well. We got into some very heated battles. Sometimes fights broke out, but it was all part of the rivalry. And that's what made the rivalry even more passionate when we stepped our feet on that court.
Smart shot there by Bogovic. Just kept on trucking and lays it in, draws the foul.
Speaking of Saturday upcoming, it's going to be heavily reliant upon Hubert Davis and the staff, along with Seth Trimble, to help the players on this roster to understand how thick the air will be and what this rivalry will mean. This place will be jumping. It will be prolific. It will be a different dimension and energy than what it is right now.
Your first one going into it. Who told you what it was going to be like?
I had Shane Battier and Chris Carroll tell me, but I made a pretty bad mistake. Carolina had taken Ronald Curry over me to come here and play basketball here. And I told the Observer how much I wanted to play against Ed Cotto. Everybody kept talking about Ed Cotto being the best point guard in the ACC, and I felt like I was better. I got my tail kicked that night. And I found out quickly I got to keep my mouth shut and not give the opponent any ammunition.
Right. In that rivalry, it's going to be job one, right?
Yes.
A foul with 13:08 to play in this contest. And North Carolina with a big 66-40 lead, but a star matchup coming up on Saturday on ESPN as Duke and North Carolina resume the ancient hostilities. Boozer and Wilson toe-to-toe.
Are great thinkers of the game that are leaders of their respective teams and are incredibly competitive in each and every possession.
J.J. Starling off the screen. High for Freeman. Got to drive back. The Sar will hook that one up. Kind of a wild-looking shot. North Carolina really putting the hammer down the last 3 or 4 minutes in particular. Sar hands off for Powell to the paint. And a foul here with 12:43 to go as he hits the deck.
Henry Basar plays like he's 6'7", but he's a 7-footer. He's a guy that you can utilize on the perimeter.
2 double-doubles this season. Pretty remarkable.
He went from having no front line last year to now having one of the best front lines in college basketball that quick.
Carolina in great shape for their 18th win of the year. Still about 13 to go, but Powell with another shot coming. Jonathan Powell was starter at West Virginia last year. Does not start for North Carolina. He makes 1 of 2. So the lead ballooning to 27 for the Heels. Betsy for Starling. Shot clock down to 9. Deflected away. That's the reason he could go get that in the backcourt. Anthony Pulls up. No, that won't drop. Rebound. Knocked out of play by Syracuse.
It was a high-quality shot by Anthony. They worked on that all day, snaking off that screen and get into those mid-range jumpers. Just not able to knock it down, but has a very high IQ and a good feel for the game.
Well, Syracuse was hopeful tonight that they could do a little trap of North Carolina on their own floor after a nice win against Notre Dame over the weekend. Downstairs for Vessar, who will slam it in.
What great continuity action there. Bogovac just having his head up, making the right play at the right time. And Vessar giving him a target for the slam.
Timeout. 11:45 to go.
I would always tell my bigs, call for the ball. Give me something to throw to. Bogovac game, how they executed, the sense of urgency, the energy they play with, set the tone for how they would play on Saturday night. And they have done exactly that. They have delivered early in this game.
Good ball movement up top for Evans. Shot clock to 7 for the Heels. Bogovac back to Evans. Corner jumper. Well, they did everything they wanted to do there. Powell with the miss, but Vessar keeps it alive. Evans again. North Carolina up comfortably at halftime, but then they went on a 23-8 run to this point. Probably put the game well out of reach, but still about 11 minutes to go. 69-40.
Had a great moment here during the break. Steve Kirshner, our dear friend here at North Carolina, Senior Associate Athletic Director, Men's Basketball Communications, had a gripe to pick with you about you saying Syracuse was the best communications department in the country.
Which is very well known. Very, very well known. Yes, there's no debate on that. There's no debate on that. North Carolina's got a great communications program. Tremendous. I'm just saying.
That's not the way you said it during the break.
Well, I said, hey, Kirsch, I said Bob Costas, Dick Stockton, Marv Albert, Ted Koppel, Mike Tirico. Can I go on and on? Jason Benetti, Kevin Brown. There are a lot of us who went there. A lot of us who went to Syracuse because it is the best communications program in America.
You did rattle off
I just had I had a few there.
Yeah.
So it was just off the top of my head. There are more. So
we love you, Kirsch.
He's the best. The best. Evans in transition. North Carolina putting a hammer down in the second half in particular. It's Powell. He hits the triple.
And that's a clinic on how to beat a zone. Ball rotates over from one side to the other. You hit the post. Vessar looks right in the corner. Knockdown three.
Freeman had a big first half with 18. He was a one-man band as he draws the foul. But they needed 2 more just like him to put up those kind of numbers. He has yet to score here in the second half.
And so at this point in the game, North Carolina is up 32 points. And I just want to be able to articulate what I just saw in the last possession. Caleb Wilson was visually frustrated that he did not get into that passing lane to get that steal. I mean, up 32 points with 9:38 left to play in the second half. And that's the level of competitive fire that is within Wilson. It doesn't matter time and score. He is playing hard regardless.
Hey, the Dickie V Gala is coming your way, and we want you to get on board if you can. We'll give you more details about that in just a moment. Dickie V does this every year, raffling off an opportunity to win a sensational sports car, all to benefit pediatric cancer. On the move, Freeman is held.
The fight shows that broadcast pushes us each and every day, and that is a person on a mission. We love you, Dickie V, and we love what you do for the community.
Richard's still working. Got a big one coming up, Alabama and Auburn next weekend with Corey Alexander and myself. Can't wait to see Dick Vitale again. A living legend. Pull up Bogovac. The stuff by Vessar. 14 for him. So the lead expands to 31.
Shot.
Starting. Got a great look off the 10. that's going to be off of Syracuse, off the body of Kyle. Well, Hubert Davis told us today during the shoot-around for North Carolina, we don't even talk about Duke until the game in front of Duke is over. At the very least, he can start thinking about what he's going to say when this game is over. Impressive performance for the Tar Heels, no question about that. Meanwhile, Syracuse about to drop to 13-10. Here's Trimble from the corner.
Life doesn't get easier for Syracuse. After dealing with this, they now have to go play against Virginia on the road. We may mention of Testa Ritter, one of the top players in the country for Ryan Odom's team. And they are not your father's Virginia basketball. There's nothing slow about the style and pace in which they play.
Wilson went for the stop, but couldn't quite get it. 3-minute transition, and backs it in. He's had a very strong game individually anyway, 21 points. But again, throughout this game, he's felt like he's all alone.
Yeah, I really feel like Nate George is one of the guys that can not only create his own shot, but can get other people going. But they need to play with a better rhythm and pace in which they play. And
Vesar, when he was adjusting to the college game, he said that relationship really empowered him to take on a leadership role as a freshman. And he pointed to their chemistry, saying, yeah, we make each other better because we're unselfish for each other. If one of us is having a good game or has the hot hand, we encourage each other, lift each other up. Our priority is winning. And you mentioned Hubert Davis said the best thing about Wilson is what a great teammate he is.
Just to add to that, Molly, the beautiful thing about having guys like Caleb Wilson and Henry Vesar, they're naturally communicative. And that is so imperative when your front line, who is the backbone of your defense, is communicating on what you're doing defensively to your guards and how they can apply pressure or when a screen is coming from the right or from the left. So not only are they giving you points, productions, and rebounds, but they're giving you great communication, which is the backbone of everything you do.
Wilson grabbing a rebound here. Vesar dumping it down low for Wilson, and a turnover with 7:02 left. 76-45.
Hubert yelling at Derek Dixon, telling him he should be in that short corner, and that's where the pass is supposed to come from Vesar.
Switched in by Nathan George. As he gets into double figures with 11. Trimble on the wing. Wilson will turn and fire. Can't knock that one down. And Hill's one and done. North Carolina will meet Syracuse twice this season.
Wow.
George. Little bump there and hits it. As we approach the 6-minute mark. And again, classes were canceled here in North Carolina today after the big storm over the weekend. Wilson on the baseline, another foul against Syracuse. So the fans have had all day to get ready for this one. Coming up, our Tuesday night ACC Network men's basketball doubleheader. It starts at 7 o'clock Eastern. 4th-ranked Duke will be hosting Boston College, and then it's Pitt battling number 18 Virginia. All coming up on Tuesday. 70% at the line, in and out with number 1. He's 9 out of 12 at the line tonight. And gets the second. 22 points for Campbell. You can put that in the book every single night. He's going to get 20 points or more. Rolls in for George. Need the shot with 5:53 plus a foul on the play. So the basket good is foul 2. And that's going to go against Vesar, his second.
said earlier, multiple players are still competing. Everybody's competing at a high level. Just because North Carolina is up by 25 points does not mean that they are done competing. It's the same with Syracuse.
Soiree getting a 1-1 after that whistle. 77-52. Bogavats into the double. Besar is open. Airmailed that one. He's a good three-point man. Very good, in fact, at 46%. Anthony to the right side. Hits the deck. He'll draw the foul. So Carmelo Anthony's son to the line. It's been a struggle for him. It's been a struggle for the entire Syracuse team all year. He makes 59%. Unfortunately for the Orange, that puts him about average for Red Autry's team. They're only 63% in total.
Think about Carmelo Anthony leading Syracuse to the 2003 title. It's one of those miraculous runs with that team and the poise. If you talk about some of the elite freshmen.